All right, so I wanted to touch upon the topic of aura, which is nothing but this ghastly fluid that's around your body that's made up of, like I was speaking earlier on, your esoteric color of arms, meaning what virtue you subscribe to as far as you being an observer. Because, see, there's an energy that you naturally exude out of your body, and the better that you have mastery over that energy rather than that energy having mastery over you, aka don't become the North Star, the Baphomet star upside down, meaning you get used by the elements in the world, meaning that you're so conditioned in such a negative way that your life end up playing out as negative, not knowing that you just are conditioned to play out certain to animate certain spirits into the third dimension via you having whack ass fucking mental observations and shit like that. So we need to learn how to fucking brainwave, how to fucking pattern our brains to actually have a perception that traps good spirits, good thoughts, good feelings and shit like that. So you attract, because you attract based on whatever you resonate with. If you resonate with some fucking whack ass shit, a lot of the times based on our early childhood and how we was raised and brought up and shit like that, we may have certain whack ass perceptions, whack ass conditionings, because the first experiences that you breathe in as far as a spirit here down in the your third dimensional body, separate from your mental body and shit like that, that experience kind of assimilates into yourself. And sometimes these experiences can be stored in one of our energy bodies, aka our chakra bodies, our organs. This is why we come up with terms like, oh, this person is cold-hearted, this person feels a little bit distant from us, or this person is a warm person, this person exudes the energy of fire. Basically was what they're saying. They're open, they're closed, they can be open and closed and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Because like when two lights come together without like conditions, aka you're not hiding what you is or your intents and shit like that, it allows new information to be created rather than creating this false facade. But anyways, that's like a different thing. But all these all these are just mental mechanisms that we develop, kind of like just behaviors that we develop based on certain external environments, because we're learning to cope with something internal, protecting ourselves sometimes on all these different things, right? So when we talk about our energy body, we're talking about what energies are basically stored in our organs, right? What energies, because thoughts and feelings can become stored and can become like a membrane. It can become like a womb and shit like that. So we might have negative information stored in our heart chakra that we need to learn to let go of, so we can actually open up our heart. Like you could say, even having strong boundaries and keeping an open heart at the same time, because your heart chakra is important. Your heart organ is very, very powerful. It amplifies energy. You feel things with it, and excluding that from your life, sometimes you may miss out on a whole field of information in your environment just because you chose to lock yourself out of it. Because I used to do that too, right? So I had to learn to let go of certain experience and repattern my brain, so I had a perception and I conditioned myself on purpose to experience abundance within myself. So my esoteric colors, the color of arms, say and exude abundance, health, wealth, and things like that. But a lot of the times we gotta be careful on our observations per day, because everything is like, you gotta analyze your observations per day, right? You gotta ask yourself, what did I observe today? Did I observe things that made me feel healthy? Did I observe things that made me feel wealthy? Did I observe things that made me feel wise? Did I observe things that make me feel and think like I'm in a great relationship with myself? Or did I distance myself from myself? Because when you distance yourself from yourself, you also distance yourself from God. You walk away from the thing that God gave you as far as your virtue that you're supposed to learn to master and deal with and things like that, right? This is where a lot of our problems can come from as well. So when it comes to our energy bodies and shit like that, when we learn to activate ourselves and not be afraid, not be ashamed, not be in doubt, not be worried and scared of our incapabilities, and just begin to move mentally, and so we can move third dimensionally and physically. This is why when a car approaches someone, they get shocked and they stay in fear and they lock in and they don't move out of there, because it's like they're just in shock that that's even happening, right? So they can't even like take action. So sometimes, like in our early childhood, even we may get shocked to such a degree that we don't even know what to do about something externally, because we're still living out that version of ourselves, that old version of our kid version of ourselves and shit like that. That's why a lot of people do like inner inner child healing and stuff like that, because you got to get in tune back with your child. Sometimes even some of our childhoods may make us adult so fast we forget what's like to be a kid. And nothing is good or bad. These are just things that we're supposed to take these situations, no matter how negative they are, and make the best out of that situation that you possibly can, and shit like that. Right? Because when we don't process this information, again, it gets stuck in our aura, in our energy body. All our organs, our heart, our gut, our mind, all these things are condensed versions of just what we was already doing spiritually in the spirit realm, because we was just like creating bodies to experience ourselves and shit like that, and creating worlds within worlds and stuff like that. So yeah, it gets really, really deep. So we gotta learn to almost like clean up our energy body so we can begin to exude. Because it's kind of like the body and the mind is kind of like having a hard drive, right? If the hard drive is full of negative information, unuseful information, things that don't bear like abundant fruit is just nothing but stuff that takes you situations, circumstances, people, places, and things that you kind of like reap and stuff like that, just based on whatever you was soaking into as an observer, as a spirit, to even attract that into your life, right? Because two people can deal with the same situation, right? But one person could be angry, cuss the other person out, and start a whole fight. Another person could just be calm, cool, and collected and deal with it rationally, so they don't polarize themselves in that situation and do something over extreme. That's why you get a lot of road rage. You get a lot of like people going viral based on like anger and stuff like that, but they really don't know how to deal and regulate themselves. That's why they need to be ruled by religious leaders and by police forces in the world and stuff like that. Because really, if man and woman was actually on their 1-2, we wouldn't even need a lot of the services that the government is providing us, even like education, the entertainment they're creating and stuff like that for us to it just look like we're creating it, but really we're jumping into their world, what they want us to promote for their agendas and stuff like that. So we got to be careful of the world that they created for us to participate in, but we got to be able to observe and not be afraid of creating our own worlds and stuff like that, because that's how you even become a unique individual. That's having access to like the 7th, 8th, 9th dimension, you know, the Uranus, Pluto, and Saturn cycle, you know, Neptune and stuff like that, and being able to use that to modify yourself so you can bring something new, right? People, individuals like Michael Jackson, even like Dodo the Pilot Man, you know, a lot of people in the world that bring new things into reality have to create a whole new mentality and stuff like that, and you can't be necessarily afraid of that. And that mentality literally becomes a perception, and that becomes a field of possibility. And since you created a field of possibility made up of thoughts and feelings, now you bubble up new thoughts and feelings, and those new thoughts and feelings can trap high octave spirits, meaning allow you to resonate with a high, basically a good sense of perception. Like, people don't know how to love themselves. Some people actually genuinely hate themselves. And why the fuck would you want to attract other spirits, circumstances, people, places, and things that resonate with the energy of hating yourself? Like, why would you want to do that? But see, if you have that perception of yourself, you're going to automatically, unknowingly trap spirits, thoughts, and feelings, and shit like that, that take you to that place, because that's what those spirits is experiencing in their dream and shit like that. You need to put yourself you need to change your emotional set points to abundance, wealth, infinity growth, infinity fucking possibilities, and that type of shit. Because when you do that, then you actually attract new possibilities to be able to do that new thing. Then your aura actually exudes that. Your heart, when you love yourself, your heart actually exudes love. But if you don't do these things for yourself, you're not going to be in the space to receive abundance. You're not going to be in the space to receive infinity possibilities, however it may come, because the human perception can't necessarily, it can if you can get to that level, but a lot of people can't even get to that level. That's a whole other video for another time and stuff like that, because, you know, real shit, a whole other video for another time, because that's a whole other issue. Like limiting beliefs, how people limit their mind and stuff like that, how people limit the possibility of how something can be achieved or acquired or, you know, given to them and stuff like that. We limit how these things can come. We think it has to come in a check. No, a lot of things can come in so many different ways. We just have to be open to receive it. Abundance is Abundance is like beyond having money, is having like mental money. Like you're the money, you're the magic, you're the ching. If you don't use their currency, if you stop recognizing their currency, that should become unuseful. If you stop observing their education, that should become unuseful. All these things become unuseful when we don't participate in it. So it's the energy work we put in to make these structures even active and stuff like that. Because what is the matrix? Again, the matrix is nothing but a world that uses you as a source and as a form of battery to take your energy and input it into another system, causing that system to animate, kind of like a factory belt and stuff like that, to cause things to move, pick up boxes, load the boxes on the truck. You know, we created the world. We made the world famous, bitch. And when we don't know how to create, when we see ourselves in such a low way, we agree to low terms and conditions and stuff like that. That's why a lot of the times, even in Africa, the missionaries, when they came there, it was really just to soften them niggas up mentally so they can just take over the land easily when they come in. They come in, you know what I'm saying? Real shit. So it's all psychology. It's all psychology. But the better you know how to practice psychology on yourself to influence your mind, to reach a new space of abundance, self-love, peace of mind, aka playing out your virtues, your esoteric colors of arm, which play as an aura, but in and behaviors and matters and reactions and actions and things that you're personally into. You're able to take that. You're gonna be able to take that in a higher octave way and play that out in a richer way, in a more just in the high octave way, in a better way, rather than just being the demonic low octave version of that sign and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Which is something. Because whatever you're doing right now, that's the same thing you're going to be doing in the future, just from a different level on a point of view that plays out externally as differently. Real shit. But anyways, love y'all from the goddamn bottom of my heart. Take care, y'all. Real shit.